Hiya everybody, here we are on Bayton Road, and Bayton Road is where the test centre, the test routes for Coventry begin. We'll have just turned turned left out of the car park and carrying along Bayton Road here. It's going to take us up as far as the traffic lights where we're going to turn right. So this is test route number 11, and it's number 11 of 15 test routes for Coventry, for the Coventry area. If you wish to see the other 14 in the series, just click the subscribe button, and there you go, you'll find them all on there, so no problem there. Just going to turn right at these traffic lights. Excuse me. So we're just going to move into the centre of the junction. We just need to wait around about here for the road to clear, which it's going to do after this car. This brings us into Coventry Road. But as I was saying, so if you click subscribe, you can see the other 14 of the series. And also, if you look in the description box below the video, what you'll find there is the route listed out, so you can copy and paste that if you want. And also you'll see a few links there which will help you with your training, and with you to help you to understand, really. There's a few links on there to help you understand the test and how it works as well. Okay, so a little bit of extra information for you. There you go, we're on test route number 11. We've turned left out of the car park on Bayton Road, and we now turn right at the traffic lights, and we're on Coventry Road, heading what you would say is towards Bedworth town centre. This is quite a long road, and it's reasonably busy, and what you can be asked to do quite often on this road is just pull up and park on the left and then drive on again. There's a few opportunities to do that. So around here, for instance, and you'll see in a few seconds a white car that's parked on the left, and very often they'll ask you to pull in behind the white car and drive off at an angle, and that's so they can make sure that you're looking over your blind spots before you move, so you do your 6-point check and things like that there before you move off. And they may ask you to pull in and park maybe 3 or 4 times throughout the whole test, so again, you know, be aware of that may happen, and it will be on roads a bit like this one. There's some traffic lights ahead of us, and we can see the lights are on green at the moment. Now the thing about these lights is there's a nice camera there, so it's important that you don't go through these on amber or red, and obviously they've just turned to red, so now we're going to pull up. On the right there you'll see Bedworth Leisure Centre. It's an everyone active centre, and they can pull in there sometimes and just do some bay parking, so that may happen as well. But what we'll do is we'll just wait for these lights. We're just going to go straight ahead at these traffic lights now, and they shouldn't take long before they change. Along here you may be asked to follow the signs for NUNEATON, and if you do, then and also if you don't as well, be asked that, what you'll end up doing is turning right at this next mini roundabout, and that's going to be the second exit. And this brings us into RINGWAY, and it kind of skirts around the outside of the Bedworth town centre. So Rice Peace Ringway, and as we come around this bend you'll see there's a roundabout there, and we're just going to go straight ahead at that roundabout, taking the second exit. Just make sure it's all clear. Takes us down the hill and around the bend. We're still on Rice Peace Ringway, by the way, not Rice, Rye Peace Ringway, by the way. So again, it's quite a long road, skirts around the outside of the town centre. But as we come up to the next mini roundabout this time, we're going to be asked to turn right, and that will take us in up towards NUNEATON again. So it's going to be right at the mini roundabout there. Make sure you go around the circle, don't drive over the top of it like many people do. This now brings us into NUNEATON Road. Lights are on green. There you go. Again, this is a fairly long road, this one. There's a few kind of less space, less speed type situations along here, although it's quite a wide road. Let this fella out if he wants to. Don't want to block the junction up. There he goes. He's obviously late for work. Hopefully he gets there in one piece. Okay, so as we come down this hill, what we'll be doing is we'll be taking the next road on the left. It's a little way down. We've got to go past the crossing first of all, past the Pelican crossing. It's going to be the next road on the left. It comes into view just about now. And this will then take us into Hill Street, where you can see you might end up in some meeting situations. Very often happens. We just let them all come through, leaving ourselves quite a lot of space there. Now at the end of Hill Street, the road bends around very sharply to the left, and it's a good idea at this point just to drop the car into first gear. Make sure you have a good look around the bend before you move around. People do kind of sweep around there quite quickly sometimes, and they can end up on the wrong side of the road. So we have to be careful of that. We have to be aware that can happen. We're now in Wood Street. And what can happen in Wood Street, again, apart from having these meeting situations, is you may end up doing kind of, you know, not bay parking, parallel parking. There's certainly plenty of opportunities for that here. And also, you may end up parking on the opposite side of the road, reversing back a couple of car lengths, and then rejoining the traffic. So it's ideal area for that. We're on Wood Street, and bending Wood Street kicks round to the left here, and then at the end of the road we're going to turn right. Road markings are very faded at this point. This brings us into Joseph LUCKMAN Road, And we're not on that for very long because it bends around here and then that turns into Reynolds Road. And at the end of Reynolds Road, I'm going to turn right. It takes you into Sutherland Drive. There are lots of junctions. Sutherland Drive's at quite a busy road actually, because it leads down to the A444, which obviously is really busy. And then we're going to take the next left. The next left takes us into Newdigate Drive, and Newdigate Road, should I say. On Newdigate Road, we're going to take the second right. This was the first one. It's just around the bend here. Now takes us into Arbury Avenue, which is just as we turn in right from Newdigate Drive into Arbury Avenue and down there. And again, this is another road where, you know, it's an ideal opportunity to do some of the manoeuvres, maybe the emergency stops, or I shouldn't say that anymore, should I? Controlled stops. Don't know what the difference is, same thing really. Following this road down, we'll take the second left. This is the first one, Ashford Drive. We want the second one, which is just coming up to us now. So on Arbury Avenue, we're taking the second left into Mount Drive. The end of Mount Drive, we're going to turn right, and that should take us back onto Newdigate Drive. And there we are, back on Newdigate Drive, and those traffic lights ahead of us. Those traffic lights are going to turn right then. Just turn into green for us, very nice, thank you. Make sure the junction is all clear, and around we go. Just following this road down, this is Newton Road. Today we've got some temporary lights on Newton Road, so I don't think it'll be too long before they change. Looks like they've been on red a while. So here's a little thing for you. You see the car ahead of us, he's parked his back wheels on the the hatch lines, so their position is a bit too far over to the right. We need to keep on our bit of the carriageway. Obviously with the temporary lights there, it means we'll probably have to go over the hatch lines, but that's okay. We don't need to be waiting on them though, so maybe that would be a minor fault there for the car in front of us. I'm sure they're very pleased if they are, the people in that car is watching this video right now, to be told that, but there it is. It shouldn't be too long. This is a three-way controlled lights, which means it's a little longer actually than usual. And that's usually because they're kind of doing their work on a junction or quite close to a junction, and they're having to close the road off in 3 different directions. And here we go. So just before we get to the bridge there, we're going to be turning left. So it's going to be the next road on the left, and that's, you'll see it signposted there for Coventry, the A444, in brackets the M6. This is the Bedworth bypass. So this is going to be the A444. This is an acceleration lane, and so we now have to get our speed up, if we can, to the speed of the road. Going to merge. So it's all about the mirrors and your indicator, looking for the space. And now we're on the A444. We know it's a 70-mile-an-hour road. We can't overtake this lorry just yet. Somebody overtaking us at the moment. Now we will. We just go around it. And again, on your test, you will be expected to show that you're confident enough and competent enough to be able to get around these types of things. We'll move back into the left-hand lane. There we go. Now as we're coming up to the roundabout on the A444 toward Coventry, and according to the green signs, the big green signs here, you have an option of 3 different lanes you can go into to get into the A444 for Coventry, and we're going to choose the left-hand one of those 3. So always remember, where you've got a choice of 2 or 3 lanes, to be safe through the junction and to be in the correct position at the opposite side of the junction, get yourself into the left-hand lane and follow that around. So we're still in the left-hand lane of the 3. And we're just going to stay in our lane. That takes us around here. But what we can see now is it brings us into this new road, which is called GILES. It's a 50-mile-an-hour road, and we are automatically in the left-hand lane, and that's exactly where we need to be to keep ourselves and everybody else safe. So this is a 50-mile-an-hour road. It's still the A444 for Coventry. This road features on every test, the A444. So try and get your instructor or whoever it is that's helping you, like I say in all the other videos, to take you up and down this road, because you will be going on it at some point. Okay, so on test route number 11, you come down here, and there's a roundabout ahead of us, and we need to turn right at that roundabout, taking the 3rd exit. So what we need to do now is change lanes. Again, it's all about your mirror and your indicator and your blind spots, making sure that they're all clear. Now this roundabout here is a spiral roundabout, and the traffic lights have just gone onto reds, and that's good, because then you can have a good look at it on the film, on the video. It's a spiral roundabout. What we do with these spiral roundabouts is, because we're turning right, we're taking the 3rd exit, we'll start off on the kind of inner lane, the one next to the actual island itself, and we'll end up on the outer lane. And our lane will spiral its way out. So there's a line on your left-hand side of the lane, and we're going to follow that line, just like this. And it will take us down to here, where we can turn in, and that's how you do that. This brings us then onto the left hand lane as we exit the roundabout, and it means that when we get into the new road, we'll automatically again be on the left hand one of the two lanes. We go straight ahead at these traffic lights here, and as you can see, because we did the roundabout correctly, we're on the left hand lane. This is called Winding House Lane, this one. As you can see, this is a 40-mile-an-hour road, 40-mile-an-hour road. It's a fairly long one, fairly straight, not much happening really. So ahead of us there are some traffic lights, and at those traffic lights we will be turning right. Again, there's some hatched lines here. Try not to go over those, but turn into the reservation about here. And here we are, we're having to wait at these lights. Now, if you look at the traffic lights themselves, what you'll see is they're kind of like in an L shape. The actual light cluster is in like an L shape. And that tells us that the two green lights at the bottom are not the normal standard just a green light. There'll be arrows on there. So where you have green arrows, what it means is that you're clear to go and everything else has stopped. You're not going to have to wait in the centre, for instance, for the junction to clear in order for you to continue, because all the other lights will be on red. I think on these ones though, what happens is the two green arrows come on together, and it just mean that we can go. So there's the amber, yep, there's the green arrow, and it means that we can just go around there. Remember, if you have a green arrow but the green light hasn't come on, then you don't have to wait. You don't have to wait for the green light. The green arrow is telling you that you can go. It should be clear. So we've now turned from Winding House Lane into Wheelwright Lane, and we're going to take the third exit on the right. Take the third right. That sign was saying I'm going too fast, but actually I was only doing 28 miles an hour, so that needs to be adjusted. There you go. It annoys me when that happens. So there's the first one, and we want the third one. There's the second one there. So look out for the third one on the right. In this case, there's a kind of new fence that people have put up and painted it kind of creamy colour, and here it is. Just to give you a bit of an heads up as to where it is. That takes us into St Giles Road. We're just going to go all the way along St Giles Road right to the end. All the way to the end of it. It dips down quite a bit. At the end of St Giles Road you'll see a memorial, and we're going to turn right at the end of the road here. And that's going to take us on to Church Lane. There we are. this church lane, although it's quite looks like a country lane, it's not one. It is a 30-mile-an-hour zone still down here, so do be careful. So all the way around here, we're going to take the next road on the right. Has now taken us into School Lane. School Lane again is a fairly long road. Looks countrified at this end, but it is a 30 zone. So again, please be careful with this one. Don't want to get your picture took. Perhaps you do, I don't know. I'm sure you don't want to get your picture took by a police camera thing, do you? So there you go. All the way along School Lane. Fairly bog standard, fairly easy road to go down. There's a few parked cars dotted here and there, nothing really too much to worry about. At the end of this road though, we'll just be going straight ahead. Where these traffic lights are, just going to follow the road straight ahead. So remember to subscribe if you want to see the other test routes for Coventry. There are other videos there as well, with different kind of related topics, but not necessarily test routes. And also, if you look in the description box, there's links for kind of things that you'll need for practice purposes, and also documents that will help you to understand the test and how it works better. And this is now taking us into Bayton Road, where we started from all those years ago. At the start of this video, back into Bayton Road. And what you'll see soon is you'll see a blue metal fence on your right, and that's where the test centre will be. Just as you come round this bend though, there's very often quite big lorries trundling along. Today we seem to be quite clear. There seems to be a white van that might want to reverse out. No, he's going forward, that's fine. Here we go, big lorry trundling along. Fantastic. Couldn't have made it up, could you? So that's where you would turn to the right into this next one. But that's the end of test route number 11. And just to say, good luck with everything. Hope it all works out for you. And I'll see you in the next video.